Now this promises to be a little bit different, as if memory serves me right, this is the first model review on this channel of a piston-engined aircraft, and there is a good reason why we are taking a look at this aircraft model today. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Douglas DC-6 of the Flying Bulls. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and underneath the cutout we find the Flying Bulls logo. On the back side of the box we then have a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, and we have the original dimensions as well as some additional information. So that's it for the box. Let's take a closer look inside and at the aircraft model itself. And here she is, the Douglas DC-6 in what I believe is still the current livery of the aircraft from the Flying Bulls. And now I'm not really known to be reviewing classic airliners, but this aircraft is a little bit special because it actually does still fly around today. But that in itself would probably not have been enough for me to actually review this aircraft model, but there is a good reason why I want to take a look at it now, because Herpa has announced new DC-6 aircraft models and there's no reason to think that they have changed the mold. So I think this is a good opportunity to see what these DC-6 actually can offer from Herpa Wings before the new ones are released. So let's start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Red Bull branding and the aircraft type specification. On the fuselage we then find the full registration code of the aircraft and the flag of the United States of America. Next to the cabin door there is another little logo which I couldn't quite identify, but if I had to guess it would be either the logo of the Flying Bulls or more likely the logo of the Douglas Corporation. Now if you follow the red, blue and white cheat lines to the front of the aircraft we can find the writing of Red Bull, but if you are looking for many other printed details other than the livery itself, you will be disappointed. But of course not unusual for an aircraft model from Herpa Wings back in the day, but I do hope that the upcoming DC-6 aircraft models will have more printed details. What I, however, think Herpa has done really well with this aircraft model is actually the print around the cockpit section with the cockpit windows, and especially really lovely detailed the window wipers. One thing I, however, don't quite like with the cockpit section is actually the shape of the nose, which I don't think quite captures the look of the DC-6. Now from the nose we can move on to the lovely piston engines of the DC-6. Now we don't have any printed details here, so we don't need to bother with that, but we have some lovely physical detailing in my opinion. I think Herpa has done quite well here, again considering how tiny the DC-6 is in scale 500, and as usual with a propeller aircraft from Herpa Wings, they are movable. Then on the fuselage, just above the wings, we have what I assume are emergency exits. In any case, this is how it looks also in real life. And from those supposed emergency exits, we can move on to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at. Now when it comes to the physical detailing, this is pretty much how the wings do look like in real life as well, but I think Herpa could have improved a little bit with the print. Instead of just having one even grey or metallic color, the real wings do have some different shades depending on the parts of the wing, and I think this is where Herpa could have improved. But of course, again, considering this model was released in 2011, I don't think this would have been something Herpa would have even thought about doing. The landing gear I will not be complaining about, because honestly speaking I think this is as close as it gets in scale 500 to the real thing, and if Herpa had put just half as much effort into the landing gear with modern airliners as they have done here, I think we would all be in a much better place. And then finally, the DC-6 did of course not just carry passengers but also luggage and other sorts of cargo, and the doors to those compartments we can find here at the back of the aircraft and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Douglas DC-6 of the Flying Bulls in scale 1 to 500 from Herpa Wings. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Now, as I said earlier, Herpa has announced new DC-6 aircraft models to be released rather soon, and it is really unlikely that they have changed anything around the mold, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because overall I think actually the mold of this aircraft model is pretty good. If there's one thing I would like to improve on it, it is the nose shape. For me, it is a bit too squared. I think the real thing is much more rounded. Something I'm also hoping for future DC-6 releases is that Herpa will add much more printed details to the aircraft model. Now, this aircraft model, it's not terrible. It has the livery, which is the main feature of the aircraft, but just a few more printed details here and there would really have elevated the aircraft model overall, I believe. Now, something I specifically don't like about this DC-6 in front of us is actually the metallic paint that Herpa has used for it, because in my opinion it is too grainy. Now, we have seen it much worse with other models, but still it could have been much nicer. So this is also something I'm hoping for future DC-6 releases, if they have large metallic sections, that Herpa uses a better, less grainier metallic paint. And then finally, one last detail that I think collectors should know about if they're considering to buy the aircraft model is that, of course, this model does have the American registration, which was correct for the model when it was released 2011, but today the aircraft is flying under an Austrian, so an Oscar Echo registration. Not a huge difference, not something that really takes away from this aircraft model, but just good to know if you are considering to get this model. And with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, and if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. With that, thank you so much for watching, hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.